What's up, guys? My name is Ethan, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Worth TV. Today, I have the honor to have the creator of Mo Melanin Mo Problems and her ride or die, a sidekick. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, to be Mr. Thomas, but also to have you guys on here. So, welcome to the both of you guys.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for joining. So for you guys that have not watched Know Your Worth TV, this is really coming back. I know ideally we've done where we were physically in establishments, but because of the pandemic, things had to change. So here we are virtually, which I love. We get to kind of be here virtually with one another, even though we've seen each other for the last like weeks, really rehearsing, getting ready for this show.
Mhm.
It's exciting. First, first stage play I've done since 2008, so this is
Ooh.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm starting to sweat already.
Oh gosh.
But no, for real. Let's get started, man. I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. Um, I, crazy story of how I met you. It was years ago. I was running a subway. You were a teacher at King Lakes,
Yes.
and I always knew that you had a passion. You had a passion to talk to little girls that look just like you and be that role model, that mentor for them. And you always come and share your stories. And you've always been really doing something for you. And then it became a book. You wanted to write a book so that little girls can see themselves in these books.
Yes.
And here you are, a stage play.
I
How did
know.
how did we get here? What fuels this?
So, like you said, we met. Like I would come to Subway all the time on my lunch break, and always be in a rush. And you, so kind, would always help me. And then we became friends. So God already knew that we were going to be working together in the long run. So, working at Chain of Lakes, I was able to meet a group of young ladies who kind of needed direction. They always needed some type of mentorship, or they just needed like words of encouragement because they just didn't feel pretty being who they were. They didn't like their hair, they didn't like their skin complexion, they just didn't like their body image, all types of things. And that's how the book, The Little Brown Girl Experience, came about. And that was published in 2018. So I promised that group of sixth grade girls that I would do it by the time they matriculated through eighth grade, and I kept my promise. I published the book in 2018, so they could see the book and see it come to fruition. And then the book turned into a stage play based off of the main character Zuri. And so all of the characters in the book have African-based names because all of the that there are going to be different children's books. So the next book was Atiena. So I have the second book in the series that was published in 2019. So it's just to encourage our black and brown girls that they have representation, and that because representation does matter for our young girls and our youth, and they need some positive reinforcements aside from all of the female rappers or things that they see on television, but that they can do actually something in their community to live up to.
I get it. That's why know your TV is around. I feel like we got to highlight the positive things. People get to see everything that they see in movies or TV or Instagram, but don't really get to know the behind the stories of it. Even this whole thing, the play is amazing, the book's amazing, but there's a story behind this that has led to this point.
Mhm.
Um, let's go ahead and give Yara some love. Go ahead and introduce Yara. This is your right hand man right here. I've obviously kind of seen her around. High energy. I feel like I've
Yeah,
known her
you.
forever. The way that she comes into a room, like it's nothing but love. So go ahead and introduce your friend, Miss Yara.
Yeah, so Yara and I met when we did a stage play together, and we clicked, and we've been like best friends ever since. So that's my sister. She is my theater buddy. She is, like you said, my right hand girl. You get into a room with her, you have no choice but to love her because of her high energy and her spirit. She's always giving, and she'll give you the shirt off her back. Like, but she is just that type of person. And I truly appreciate you, Yara, because I love you, girl.
I can't.
So
So,
Yara,
ladies and
how
gentlemen,
does
this
it make
is
you
Yara.
feel?
She serves as my assistant director. I couldn't put this show on without her expertise and without her help, as well as the cast and crew. But behind the scenes, we've been working at this thing for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So welcome,
And
Yara.
Yara, how does this feel to be a part of this and see her really bring this to life?
I honestly, I'm speechless. I'm not gonna get too emotional, but I know Shakira talks about our relationship, but I've really watched her blossom through this process. Um, this process has, I mean, and it's funny because she's older than me, but I'm literally like watching her just like grow through this. Like she has had to wear so many hats, and to take the first thing was writing the book, and we thought like, she did, we knew she wasn't going to max out, but we had like a whole shebang with the book release and this and that, and she's going around speaking and speaking and speaking, and then when she approached me, she was like, oh, I'm going to turn the book into a play. And I was like, okay. And then next thing I know, probably like a few months later, we are we talked about it. We were in a meeting for something else, and then we ended up in Panera Bread jotting ideas on post-it notes.
Right.
And the way I feel about Shakira's success for this, I'm really speechless, and I can't say more than that because I will cry. I'm not even gonna lie.
Please
Listen,
don't
Um,
I
cry
hear
on
it.
this
I hear
live
it.
so we all be bawling and
it's
tears.
a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm so so proud of her because it's not the just the ambition for me. It's not the drive for me. It's the willingness to say no matter what, I'm going to make sure that this story is heard for everybody. You get what
And
I'm saying?
no, I do. Listen, after I seen it from really beginning to end yesterday,
Mhm.
um, I got it. I got the message. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And really just still kind of going over some lines with some of the cast.
Mhm.
And having now a biracial daughter that does have black and have Spanish.
Mhm.
Hearing the stories from my wife that would tell me how, because she had a white stepdad and a black mom,
Mhm.
the stories that you'll hear. So really listening into it in the play, she's already said that it happened. I'm like, it's never happened to me, so I don't know.
Right.
But if you've really been through it, it's going to hit you hard. It's going
Yeah.
to be very emotional. There's a lot of comedy behind it, though. It's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
It's just some very, very talented people on this that is bringing this to life. But Shakira, how you doing this on a teacher's budget, though?
Woo.
Like,
Listen,
I
the
think that's
teacher
one of the
salary.
love that's able to do
So let me tell you how I'm doing it and how where my help comes from, and it comes from the Lord. So I always have to
it.
give Him glory. So I I am going to write an autobiography one day when I become famous and everybody knows my name. But I've always had this thing in my head that all I need is a dollar and a dream. Like, I don't have to be the richest person in the world in order to create something, because if you genuinely help people, or if you honest, people can see your sincerity in your heart and know that you are passionate about something, people will give to you. Like,
Mhm.
they will be a blessing to you, and then that blessing turns into another blessing. So it's about
Mhm.
honoring who you know, and it's about relationships, and then most importantly, it's a relationship with God first, and then everything else will just fall into play, because I couldn't do this on my teacher budget. Okay, I just couldn't.
Listen, I
So
commend you for doing it. One, I commend you for bringing such talented people together, doing something for the community, especially Black History Month. I mean,
right.
what better month to? And I don't know if this was always meant to play on Black History Month. Was it?
Mhm.
No. So the original scheduled date was June 27th
Oh yeah,
of
yeah, the first one.
2020,
Mhm.
and I chose. I'm a numbers person, so I chose the numbers on purpose, ending in a 7 for completion. So the first, that's why we waited. It was going to be in September, but still the pandemic was going on, so we waited
Yep.
again. So February, I was like, we got to do it in February, and we have to end off Black History Month with something that the community can see, something that they've never seen before on stage at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center for the Performing Arts. Like, I chose it on purpose, and I did it for a reason. So everything I do, I have a reason behind it.
Listen, and sometimes we try to create something um, and is not God's plan. So it's really crazy how it's even Black History Month.
Right.
There's a monologue that talks about it. I feel everything about it just fits perfectly where it
Yeah.
needs to be with everything that's happened in the past with the Black Lives Matter, what's going what's happening in the Capitol, all that is being incorporated. So you've had to really think quick on your feet
Hmm.
to almost rewrite this. Was
Yes.
Yara also a part of this shifting, or
With the writing aspect.
yeah,
So when I start to think of something, when I start and it comes to my brain and God downloads it into me, I have to put it on paper. I have to write it. And my cast has been so good because they rolled with the punches, and every time they would come, they would know I would change just a little bit, a little line here and there, just to fit the time that we were in. And because that we waited over a year, we witnessed the George Floyd, we witnessed the whole uprising of blacks being tired of being killed at the hands of an officer. So everything happened for a reason, because now we can use that as fuel to continue to inspire and to encourage our people.
and Yara, how long have you been acting?
I ooh, I would say professionally probably since high school. It wasn't until I moved to Central Florida in 2014 that I really got heavy into the regional theater. Um, but I would say I've been an actor since high school, so up 10 years now. And but my passion is musical theater. Um, and I think I enjoy theater for the simple fact that bringing stories to life, because some people not gonna pick up a book. That's
Yeah,
just the reality of it. So when you bring stories to life, to make people laugh, to encourage them, to make people tap into emotions that they may need to tap into, to get a breakthrough. um it's just different forms of, like we say, ministry, but outreach, right?
yep.
um but yeah, on top of that, yeah, I just professionally regional theater, Central Florida, 2014. But I've been acting since high school, so probably like 15 years.
Listen, I can't wait. You gotta let me know when's the next time you're in something local. Because I know you want to be a part of this, but I definitely would love to see you on stage. I love stage. I mean, I love entertainment in general.
Yeah,
Um, so to just kind of be a part of this, to see this, I feel like I'm in my zone where I should be. So
you
thanks.
are. You are.
You are,
Um,
and you helped cast the show. So,
Yep.
and then you
listen,
became a part of the show.
I was
Hmm.
happy with just that. When I got the phone call, and what's cool about Miss Shakira is that we don't gotta talk every day. But I
Hmm.
can guarantee you that if I had a question, I needed assistance, she would do whatever she could to do so. And vice versa. She called me, I think it was like the day of or the day before, like, yo,
Yeah.
can you be a part of this casting? I'm like, I'm there. And I was
Hmm.
excited
Yeah.
about it. And then she called me, I think after everything was done, like, hey, I got a part for you. Would you do it? And I'm like, yeah, like for sure. Um, so it's really been pretty dope. But I want to, because there's so much positive that we're talking about. But what are those negative things that kind of got you to this point, or some of the hurdles that you've had to experience to get here? Because everything we all know, everything ain't just glitz and glamour. I mean, there's struggles to get to where we're at. So whether it's the book, whether it's the play, did a pandemic really throw things off?
Yeah. So, of course, with all the highs, there are going to be low lows. You just have to figure out how to even yourself out in order to get through those times. There was a time, like the way this play actually birthed. I had lost my job, had nothing, no kind of income, didn't know where my life was going, kind of thing. One of those moments, right? And that was the time where all of the characters came to life. That's when all of the characters connected to the main characters came to life. Like God literally had to stop me in my tracks in order for me to write this out and to actually finish the task that he had given me. So me losing my job was like a blessing in disguise because it enabled me to finish writing the stage play.
Okay. And Yara, what are some of those struggles that you've experienced as an actress that has gotten you to where you're at today?
Well, I like to say, like, anytime I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be or I'm doing something right, like anytime I'm getting ready to walk into something big, I always feel like, we'll say the enemy, but the adversary is just like on my back, just throwing things in my way. It could literally be like I'll lock my keys in my car, or somebody will take me off at work, or my schedule doesn't line up, or like it's just some of everything. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't say low lows. It's just a collection of things that are sent to like frustrate your purpose and distract you from what you're supposed to be doing. And like Shakira said, like you have to stay focused on what you have going on. But I mean, it hurts. Like, so many things have happened. On top of like, we were supposed to do this play, finding places to rehearse.
Yes. Preach.
Printing, like you name it. It's just like a
It's a lot.
collection of so many things that I know we've seen together as far as this goes, but like individually, we've had like different family things happen. And so low lows come with just like personal life, but the rest are just like distractions, you
Mhm.
know? So,
For sure. I totally, it's every day. Every day, I try to tell people, listen, man, you can either find lots of negative in a day, or just think about all the positives that happen. You know what I mean?
mhm,
'Cause
mhm,
your mind could literally just go negative real quick because of that one moment, like you said, it could have been I locked my keys and everything kind of goes downhill from there. But as long as you
mhm.
have a positive mindset, that's the outcome. That's always going to be the
Yep,
outcome. As long as
yep.
you keep that. So let's talk about you guys are both into giving back, right, to the next generation. What can you tell the young girl, the young boy that looks just like us? Um, what do you tell them? What do you tell them if they're struggling, whether it's at home, they're struggling with their friends? What are some words of encouragement that you can actually um, give someone on the spot?
Um,
On the spot.
I
I know.
got one. You want to go
Yeah,
first?
go ahead.
We can say, it's very important to, I can say, keep your head up, pray, stay focused. But my number one that I wish that somebody told me right away, if you have a passion or even something on your mind that you think is impossible to achieve, find a mentor
Mhm.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Mentors are so important for this generation. Positive role models, not just role models, but mentors.
Yep.
Somebody that is going to hold you accountable and give you action steps to help you see that your dream is possible. It's sometimes, especially for the younger ones, it's not enough to just think about it or dream about it. Sometimes it's not enough because a lot of them will never know what is possible because of their households. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about just like low income households. It could be, the richest of the richest, but abusive parents. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um, Find a mentor, and there is somebody that loves you. So go
I
for
like it.
that.
There you go. There's someone that loves you. That is so
Yeah.
true.
Right, because when you find that mentor, that'll continue your drive. Because, like, whoever would have thought that I would have written two children's books or a book series and wrote a stage play? I wouldn't know that I didn't have it in myself if I didn't first one believe in myself and my capabilities. Like, it
Yep.
doesn't matter your circumstance or where you come from. Your life and your past doesn't have to dictate your future. You can change the future. You can make your life better. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you look like. You have to first believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, there will be people, naysayers, that say, "Oh, you're not gonna make it. This is too hard." A lot of people do that, but there's not a you. There's not
Yeah.
a you in that field. So if something is destined for you, trust and believe that God is going to make a way, and you're going to stand out, and you're going to see the fruit of your labor. So just continue to dig and continue to work. Like, you have to work at your dream. Like, you could dream all day long, but if you're not putting in the work, it's dead. So you have to get up early, stay up a little later, do research, find people, like you said, find mentors, like find a way to do what you want to do. It's all in you.
I also want to add that just because you have a mentor doesn't mean you're getting all the answers, but they're there to keep you really in line. And I say that because I have a mentor and he's 10 years older than me. And I would I would remember every one thing that he told me. He was like, "Yo, Ukraine, you're being very negative. So by the end of the year, if you're still in that same negative, negative mind space, we can't be friends." He says, "You got it in you, but you're holding yourself back, and I can't allow that in my circle." And when he said that, it really sparked something in me. Man, sometimes we don't realize our negativity holds somebody else back because we're always so negative, which is why you have a mentor to kind of keep you in that mind space, but also keep in mind that you got to hang around the same energy. If you're hanging around that negative energy, those people that hold others back, believe me, they're holding you back as well.
Right.
So all those things are collectively are amazing. And if any of the kids are listening, really take that to heart because we're only speaking from experience. You know, I wish when I was in high school or when I was 19, 20 years old running these streets, that someone had told me that. Someone had given me the ability to see that there was so much more in store for me. But because of my upbringing, I didn't see that. I see that now, but I wasn't seeing it at that time.
Right.
All that's good stuff. What do we expect from this show? I mean, you already sold out 2 shows. Third really pending sellout. I already know. Listen, we're gonna sell out that show too. What do we expect this weekend from Mo Melanin Mo Problems?
Listen, expect to come and have a good time, okay? Expect to go through every emotion. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna get mad. Like, every emotion, expect to see it on stage. Like, I'm so proud of my cast. Like, they have put in so much work. And to see it all come together, like you said yesterday, it's just like, wow,
No,
y'all gonna be blown away. Like, I'm proud. I'm really proud.
listen, I'm proud too. I feel like a proud father out here. Like
Yeah.
I'm not part of the show, but it is.
And
Y'all are from
and expect to hear some good music, live band with David Outing and the
some
Red
good
Camp.
dancing,
So
some good
his
dancing.
team, Mark and Frank, they will be in the building. So
Whoop,
expect to
whoop.
come and jam out and have a good time and hear singing, dance, all this good stuff that you're going to see in the show. So yeah, expect to have a good time.
I would say it's really, like you said earlier, it's a great way to end Black History Month. It's a great
Mhm.
thing for the community. If you haven't got the tickets, Dr.Phillips Center, I believe .org or something like that. We'll add the link somewhere, but
Yep.
there's still seats for Sunday show, evening
There's like
show.
20 more seats.
So you don't gotta miss church. It's in the evening. All right, you don't gotta miss the church, so that can't be
Right.
an excuse. Really come enjoy yourself with the family. Get to see what we worked really, really hard for over a year to bring to you guys. Yara, from being the outsider that's actually not part, but getting to see your friend put it together. What do you tell people? What should they expect?
They need to expect to learn something that they didn't know before. Number one. Number
True.
two, they need to learn that they need to buy their tickets early. Number three, no, really. But number three, they get to see new talent. You know, new talent. I'm hoping that for everybody involved in this show, that something sparks off for them. We are at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts in the heart of downtown Orlando. And more than anything, I hope that every passion that is ignited and everybody that is a part of this show gets something from it. I hope that somebody is like, oh yeah, I want to use them for something. Oh yeah, I want to use this for something. Kara and I are actually a product of that, of networking.
Yes.
Okay. I always say your network is your net worth. You know,
Mhm.
everybody is a resource. And that is why, like, Karen and I, we come in a rehearsal and I tell the cast, hey, this is theater etiquette. this is what needs to happen, because I don't want you to go to another show for somebody else and you put Mo Melanin Mo Problems on your resume and they like, oh, what y'all did over there? Because you over here, showing up late, and you know what I'm saying? No,
Yep.
we haven't had one bad experience with anybody in the show. I'm just overviewing. I hope, in my prayer, I have been praying that everybody that is a part of this cast gets a phone call from somebody.
Yes.
Listen, forget that. Can somebody call Shakira and say, "Yeah, we gotta take this tour, this show
Oh,
on tour"?
okay.
Come on
There
now.
you go. There
Come
you
Let's
go.
on.
get
Yeah.
distance.
Let's
Let's
There
go
you
get
on
go.
that
tour.
distance.
That's the one. That's the
Let's
Like,
one.
go. Let's go where the money resides so we can get in the bag, okay? So we can bless the whole cast and we just, have fun doing what we love.
Exactly.
man, you just never know who's watching, who bought a ticket. So for sure, all that. I want all that to happen for us. So I got another question, Shakira. I seen a post that you posted the other day, and it was about you at a Tyler Perry stage play, and obviously we know that he's done tons of them. But 2 years, was it 2 years ago that you posted that?
Yeah, it was 2
It
years
was
ago.
18 or
And
19.
the post pretty much said that one day you're going to direct your own play. Here we are, 3 years later. You've done it. You've spoken to existence. How does that feel for you?
Listen, the power of manifestation is real. So if you manifest things in your life, it's gonna happen. Like I sat in the theater, Tyler Perry is definitely one of my inspirations. And to see, I go to his shows to study how they move. I don't necessarily go for like the lines and the comedy. It's all great, but I go to watch to see how the production is ran, to see what they do in the theater, and like how like the amount of people that he brings out is amazing, because it's just like, if we all stick together, if we all support each other, we could rule the world, literally.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I want to do in my own lane, and so people can know who Shakira Leanne is, okay? And create, and like you say, just create those avenues for Black and brown people in general to see themselves in places that they feel like are hard to get into, or they feel like that door is never going to be open, or they never get an opportunity. Like I want to be that person to give somebody an opportunity, that I didn't have. So I just
Correct.
wanted to create something that will lead to that one day on the same level or even bigger and
So,
better.
so you kind of being the Tyler Perry, the creator, the person behind the scenes, because you're not in this play at all. You're literally everything is behind the scenes.
Right.
What is something that you're experiencing that didn't know even existed in this world? Is there something?
Hmm. Mm. Well, Yara, you want to talk about that?
I don't.
I know. There's a lot of things. It's a
So
learning
many things.
process. So
Uh,
there's a lot of things that you see. You think there's something on the surface, but with everything, you think it's one way. But when you get actually into the whole production and the backside of everything, you're like, oh, okay. But it's a learning thing, and so that just teaches you and how to move further in different productions and like things that come up, So there are things that I didn't expect, but it wasn't anything that's like shocking to me. Nothing. It wasn't nothing that I couldn't handle.
okay. All right. Listen. So we wrap this up one question. Obviously, well, I know your work TV. So I want to know from the both of you guys, what is that know your worth moment that allowed you to be like, I know I'm it. Like this is what I want to do. What was that know your worth moment to realize that I'm going to face my dream, no matter what someone tells me, no matter what that negative person, negative experience. What was that for you guys?
I'll go so Shakira could close that out. Um, Honestly, I've had a few, but the latest one and this one that has made me sure that I'm sure that I'm in the industry that I am supposed to be in is this pandemic. um, this pandemic has really, really, I mean, I think I speak for everybody when if they didn't know that God is real before, they surely found out. Um, quick testimony. So, I left my school job. I was a school secretary for 3 years, but have been in the school system for 9 years because I got hired at Disney and Universal as a performer. So I did that for all of 2019 and into 2020, but I wasn't like a full time. I was between the parks, and but it took up my time. And because I wasn't full time, we were the first to get furloughed. And so before unemployment, before all of that, my friend, one of my friends who is a local artist, R&B artist in Central Florida, said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this show for Juneteenth. What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, let's do it." She was like, "Well, I don't really have any background singers." Then she came to me a week later, asked me would I be her background singer. And I was like, of course. So we went to this venue, did the show for Juneteenth. From that show, the manager of the building approached me and a friend of mine and asked, would we be the house background singers? And would we be the then a third party vendor who uses that building every week asked, would we be background singers for their show? So that became my job. And although I do work for corporate America again at home, I'm still able to do that. From there, I met so many connections, musical connections. Now I do other shows. I do background at least for like at least 6 artists in Orlando right now. And that's just aside from theater because, theater is slow right now. And so that the way it came full circle for me made me realize I told my friend, I joke about it, but I'm like, oh, my price tag just went up, like you're in demand now,
Right.
and sometimes, I'm humble with it, I'm just so humble, trust me. But I just feel like, that God is just like will reaffirm you and help you know, like, hey, no, this is where I want you to be. People need to see your light from stage. People need to read your books. People need to watch your shows. People need to experience who you are. And that will help you know your worth.
So really,
And my
real quick, Kira. So you really kind of, if when we go back early, if you heard about her saying you don't know who's in that room, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know who's in that room and who's going to give you that opportunity. So whenever you go somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
you show up. You're 100%. Don't get
Mm-hmm.
50-50 because you don't
Mm-hmm.
know who can take you to the next level. That was really good. Man. Really good. Really good.
Exactly.
yes, yeah.
Whew.
That you don't know who's in the room is true, and I've been telling my kids that you don't know who's in the audience. Like, but anyways, my know your worth moment was when I was at school. I'm still a teacher. I love what I do, but my principal sat me down one day and she said, "Shakira, what is it that you want to do? Like, what makes you happy?" And so I didn't really have an answer for the question then, but now, like, I've always known what I wanted to do. I always known like what my worth is, but being in the entertainment industry is something that I've always wanted to do. Like, I've always had like a knack for taking pictures, whether I'm taking photos or shooting something on a camera or directing something. I've always known that I've been graced with that capability to do things in the industry. So when I go on set and I do background work and all of that, it just fuels me even more because I know where I want to be and I don't necessarily know how I'm going to get there, but I know what my end. I don't know what my end is going to be. Only God knows, but I know where I would like to see myself. So
Yeah.
that was a know my worth moment. Is to kind of just step back and look at my life and to see like what is it that I really want to do. What truly, truly makes you happy. Literally, like when they say if you wake up and you feel like you haven't worked at all, that's where you're supposed to be. So even though I've been rehearsing nonstop, I haven't missed a rehearsal. So going and going and going on top of working in, the school system, I still haven't felt like I'm exhausted or drained because it's something that I want to do. So
Yeah. It's let me take a line out of the play. It fuels your fire, right?
It fuels my fire. Yep.
No, I get it, and I really appreciate you guys really giving your time to sit down with me, you know, and kind of talk about what's to come this weekend, what's really giving some really pivotal points where people that are watching this, whether they're young, whether they're older, they can really take some of this advice and put it into their own lives. You know,
Yes.
everything that we're saying, we're not just saying it to say it. We live these things. You know what I mean? We live the passion. We go up, we go down. We love what we do. Reason why we show up every single day. You know. But I really appreciate you guys. If you guys are watching for the first time, these are some of the people from Mo Melanin Mo Problems. This weekend, you guys can see it at the Dr. Phillips Center. My first time at the Dr. Phillips Center, and I get to be Mr. Thomas. So if you guys are watching, tickets are still available. I think that you said 20 available.
Yes.
And that's it for now.
It. Get your
That's
tickets
it.
now.
So get them before they sell out. Listen, this is a show you don't want to miss.
We will sell out.
Right.
I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to see more. If you guys are on Facebook, go show somebody some love and share. You know, we got to get everybody to come out, and whoever can show up, or whoever would want to give Shakira their blessing. However, you guys can always message us. But ladies, it's been a pleasure. You guys have a beautiful evening. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, Know Your Worth TV is coming back soon.
Yay!
Bye.